Hello everyone, welcome back to Mr. Pumpkin's Tech Blog. This video will be the second part of the three-part video series on how to install Kali Linux within Windows 11. In the first part, we saw how to install Windows Subsystem Linux on Windows 11.WSL is required to run any Linux distribution within a Windows PC. If you don't have WSL installed in your PC, I recommend you to head back and watch the first part of this series. You can find the link to the first part in the description below. In this part, we will be installing Kali Linux kernel to your Windows 11 PC. We will be using PowerShell command line interface as it's faster than installing via an ISO. If you want to see how to download Kali Linux ISO, you can watch that video by clicking on the I button. Now let's open PowerShell from the Start menu. Make sure to run it as an administrator permission as it is required to make changes to your system. Once we are in PowerShell, we need to run a few WSL commands to install Kali Linux. I have noted down the commands in Notepad here. We have already seen the first command, which is used to install WSL in the first part of this series. In this part, we will run the second command in the PowerShell. So let me copy it from the Notepad and paste it to the prompt. This command will set the default version of WSL to 2.2. It is required to run this command before installing Kali Linux, so there will be no compatibility issue later on. Let me set the default version number to 2 and hit enter. After a few seconds, it will say that operation is completed successfully, which means your WSL is now in version 2. In case you need to roll back it, then you need to run the same command, just replace version parameter with 1. Now once we update the default WSL version, all that is left is to run one more command that will install Kali Linux kernel to your Windows 11 PC. So let me copy this command from Notepad and paste it to the PowerShell. The command is pretty simple: WSL install, then Kali-Linux. After typing it, just hit enter to begin the installation. It will start by downloading the source files to your PC. Since it's just a core kernel without any pre-installed tools, it will take less time than usual. For those who don't understand PowerShell or command line interface, you can also download Kali Linux via the Microsoft Store. Just need to go to the store, then search for Kali Linux. It's the first one in the search result. You can click on the Get button to install it to your PC. In both cases, it will only install the core kernel without any tools. If you like to learn how to install apps and libraries in Kali Linux, let me know in the comments. Let's go back to the downloads and wait for it to finish. Once it is completed downloading, it will automatically install Kali in your Windows PC. Most probably you will not get any error, but if you get any error while downloading or installing, share the screenshot with me on Instagram. I will try to help you out. As you can see, it started installing Kali Linux. It will take a few seconds to complete. Once it will complete, it will show you a command to get into the Kali terminal. Let me just copy this command and paste it in the terminal again. This command will boot the Kali terminal-based operating system within your Windows PC. It might take a few minutes for the first time. Once it boots, it will ask you to create a root username. I will just enter Mr. Pumpkin, and then it will ask you to create a password. Make sure you save this password somewhere, as you will need it every time you want to log in as root user in Kali terminal. Once you entered both details, you will be logged into Kali. You can see the prompt icon changes to $symbol. Now you can use this terminal to run any core Linux command or install apps and libraries to your Kali OS. It's totally up to you. If you want all the pre-installed tools with Kali Linux, I recommend you to go with ISO installation on a virtual machine like VirtualBox or VMware. So this will be the end of the second part of the video. In the third and last part of this series, we will learn to install WinKex to enable GUI interface for Kali Linux. If you don't want to miss the last part, then subscribe to Mr. Pumpkin's Tech Blog. Thanks for watching.